Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you, the star card. To me, it feels like a revelation. Feels to me like you are receiving a vision of your star, of your destiny, right? This is the card of that kind of a revelation. Like, what am I supposed to do in life? Who am I? Why am I here? Right? I feel like something important is coming into your life that's going to reveal that to you. I feel like you've been having more dreams lately, vivid dreams. You've been writing them down, right? You've been having more synchronicity. You've been experiencing more magic and mystery in your life. And it feels almost like reality is a dreamlike state. Okay? I feel like spirit is really present. I feel like you really feel the presence of spirit in your life. And I wonder if you've always had a very spiritual life or a very psychic connection. Maybe you come from a kind of a long history, like family history of psychics or mediums or channels or something like that. Because I feel like that energy is starting to produce itself, starting to make itself known in you more than it ever has before. Maybe it's always been there. Maybe you've always been aware of it, but something more. It feels like it's surging. It feels like the light there's a collection of light around you right now. Okay. To me, it feels like a collection of yellow light. I don't know if you have a strong connection with the color yellow, but I feel like your aura is really radiant. Let's put this card into some context. Let's see what is going on. Here we have another Aquarius energy, a fixed air energy. It's a Prince of Swords. Both of these are Aquarius power cards. Okay? Your star is definitely trying to communicate with you. Okay? And your star is, of course, your spirit, your true self. God, goddess, deity, universal mind, universal energy, guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, all of the above, right? I feel like it's an urgent message coming in for you, okay? There is some clarity, an Ace of Swords. We have a Tower behind you, okay. We have a Prince of Cups and a Six of Pentacles. Well, the Six of Pentacles is a much needed alignment, right? A much needed harmony after something like a Tower. Okay? I feel like this is a very terrible situation in your recent past, but Spirit wants you to find a way through this that's going to allow a greater alignment. It's kind of like this may feel like a disaster for you, but it's ending very well for you. It's resulting in something I think that's going to be even more in line with who you truly are. And sometimes Spirit has a very abrupt way of shifting your timelines. Okay? Over here we have the Two of Pentacles, change. We have the Six of Wands, victory. We have the Two of Swords, peace. And we have the Three of Pentacles, work. Right? So to me, it feels like we are having a major change, a major Tower event in life that is leading you to discover what your authentic self and true destiny really are, so that you can work in peace and success and victory in your manifestations, right? Fire to earth combination, but it's a big change, something to get used to. I feel like Spirit is calling you away from a particular path that you were on through a Tower event and putting you on a new path that is truly in alignment with yourself, with Spirit, okay? And at first it's going to be probably very challenging. Well, a Tower is always challenging, and since this is still in the recent past, this could have been years ago, but we're still feeling the effects, okay? This could have literally be yesterday. The idea is that it's a shift in a timeline for you. It's shifting your destiny. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down over here with Jimbo the Lizard King right there on top. I can do anything except look at that card until the end, right? It's going to tie everything together at the end of the reading and give us our confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. You probably already know what it is, but, you know, leave some fun for the rest of us, okay? Anyway, let's look around the room because we really only see the two major arcana energies, the Tower and the Star. It's kind of like this Tower is happening for a reason. I wish it didn't happen. You know, we can say, well, this sucks. This is very bad. This is not fun, right? It's very disruptive. This is something that is rocking you to your core, shaking the foundations of what you thought your life was supposed to be. But it's a revelation. And we see the open eye at the top of the Tower card saying that this is you seeing the star. When our whole world comes crumbling down, all we're left with is face to face with God, Goddess, Deity, with Spirit, okay? This is kind of the Tower's coming down and we're seeing pure Spirit. So this is really serious. This is like red alert kind of thing, pay attention kind of thing, okay? Spirit is really trying to communicate that your path is a different path. And we see on top of that, we see a little bit of fire. Of course, we've got our water energies. We got some air cards here. And then we have earth, earth, and earth. So it's air, air, air. And then we've got earth, earth, and earth. Okay, air and earth. So this is mentally, how are we dealing with this? Because I feel that there's a part of you that's sort of wrestling with Spirit a little bit. With the Star card, Aquarius, and the Prince of Swords, Aquarius. This is kind of like, in a way, saying that our spirit guides are our spirit guides are trying different ways to communicate with us to tell us the same thing, because there's this clarity down here, right? There's that ace. It's one message, but it may feel like it's coming through a lot of chaotic channels right now. Okay. It may also feel as if you're kind of on the fence about something, that you're like, this Tower event happened, and now here we are in this present position, and we feel that Spirit's sort of guiding us one way, but our mind is kind of saying, well, no, my path, I'm supposed to be over there. You know, the Spirit told me, like you told me last week, that my destiny was that way, and now now there's a Tower event, and you're telling me that my destiny is going that way. Like, and we're kind of like, what do I do? You know, how do I authenticate the message, right, in a way? But we've got to understand the Star card a little bit, because the Star is that divine source, whatever you want to call it. Like, we could call it the star, right? Our star, our soul, self, spirit guides, ancestors, and the whole thing. It does two things for us. If we allow the energy into us, if we allow it into our mind and our hearts, right, it will purify us into our bodies, into our soul. It will show us where our blockages are, show us where our knots of karma are, our weak spots, our buttons, our triggers, right, so that we can be aware of those things. And once we're aware of those things, we'll start to see this yellow brick road appear in our lives. And it seems as if we are meant to walk those roads. You know, that is the path that is illuminated before us, okay? The Star is trying to teach you that you are the magician, trying to get you to remember that you're the magician. You're the one that can cause change and conformity with your will, and your will has to be aligned with the divine will, because it is the divine energy that is flowing through us and is manifesting out into the world. And we are just the conduit. That's why I say at the beginning of every reading, I am merely the messenger. I'm just the one transmitting. Okay, we try to be a very clear channel. Our heart and our mind need to be purified so that we can channel the divine energy, right, through us and out into the world, and we can have this success. Now, that's what we have here, right? The heart and the mind. The fixed heart and the mind. Okay, and we have to understand if that fixed nature means that we are too stuck in our old ways, Are we too stuck in this belief that I was supposed to be a baseball player, you know, and now that dream has been dashed, right? By age and by health problems and by, you know, anyway, the tower behind you here, it sometimes feels as if it is, what's the right word? It doesn't feel as if it is actually in our best interest. A tower is always disruptive. This is always going to be something that we're like, gosh darn it, why? Okay? Never fun. Never fun. It's an exclamation point in life. We all have some tower moments in our life where we realize that our timeline, whoa, we shifted. Something major happened in my universe completely, like we did a 90-degree turn here. We can all identify certain events in our life that were those kinds of things where our timeline kind of forked and we went a different direction, okay? And it's usually not our choice. This is something that happens in our lives, and things are very different afterwards. They're the exclamation points. They are the peaks of novelty. They're the stories that you would put in your book, your biography, right? Those the kind of main ideas in the book. These are the stories we're going to tell our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids' kids. We don't always like them. We very rarely assume they're for our best interest. We very rarely say, oh, that was good. Oh, I can see how this is going to be good for me, right? We lose a job, something very, very serious happens in our life, and we just are kind of worried how to deal with it in the moment, right? But Spirit is trying to reveal to you that this is a shift in your timeline, and that we have to recalibrate ourselves to the star. So if we have the fixed air and the fixed water here, we need to be flexible enough to not to say, oh, thank you for the gift, but to say, okay, how do I align myself with what's going on so that I can be in harmony with the process of change. This is change. Oh yeah, this is chaotic and abrupt change. This is us being in harmony with that process. Okay, and it's something that we have to do. We can't expect the universe or Spirit to sort of harmonize with us. It's like something happens, like, okay, I guess I've got to make some adjustments with what I think and feel and how I'm behaving, and align myself with this new path. Okay, so something very, very big is taking place in your life, and I do feel like we're sort of like it's almost like we're on the fence. It's like, does this mean that my destiny is over here, or am I supposed to rebuild the tower? Well, we can't rebuild the tower. We can't go back to the past and try to put it back together. It came down. And I think that when it came down, everything we thought we were supposed to be or do in life got shaken up. And a lot of pieces fell down. You know, to me, it reminds me, I'm from California, a lot of earthquakes, right? Every earthquake, the house is still standing, at least ours was. Thank the heavens, a lot of people's homes weren't, especially I remember the 89 earthquake. 1989, not 1889. You know, our house was still standing, but a lot of things fell off, you know. The garage kind of collapsed, part of the garage. The roof wasn't so good on the one side, but generally it was okay. But some pieces fell down, and we had to deal with those. Okay, we had to adapt, we had to shift. I couldn't just say, well, it's not supposed to be that way. No, this is something we're supposed to go through. We may not like it. In fact, we surely don't like it. Okay, up above you have your Prince of Cups. That is your authenticity, okay? I feel like we are getting a closer glimpse of who we are and why we're here. Spirit is revealing more and more of our path to us, and sometimes it feels like a tower moment. But if we understand, if we trust, if we have faith in our star, in that divine energy, we can see how some more bricks are being taken down from the wall, and we're seeing ourselves more clearly. We're seeing more of our authenticity, and Spirit is trying to put you on a path that is more that is more you, that is more authentic. Okay, putting you on a better trajectory toward your destiny. Okay, sometimes the course corrections in life, and I can't help but picture like one of those cartoons or something where there's I don't know, like Bugs Bunny is running around the yard and there's just an explosion over here, so Bugs Bunny turns to the right. There's an explosion over here, Bugs Bunny turns to the left, an explosion over here, and it goes that way. And that's where every time there's an explosion, you know, the rabbit changes course. And I can't help but see that's what the tower events are like, you know. And I don't know if that was from... was that from the movie Stripes or something? Maybe Bill Murray? Or maybe it's just from the Bugs Bunny stuff. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure that trope has been used in a lot of movies and cartoons and things like that. But the point being, every tower event puts us back in alignment with our true north. That's 0 degrees north for us. Because maybe we've strayed a little bit. If you stray 1 degree, eventually you'll be thousands of miles away from where you were supposed to be, right? So it could be that we've been straying for a long time and we haven't really been noticing all of the signs pointing us back to true north. And so what a little nudge would put us back on course. Okay, before things get 1,000 miles off course, we just get a little nudge from Spirit and we're back on track. What happens if we ignore the nudges for too long? A tower event, a big nudge, a big, huge sweep to get us back towards 0 degree north. The little nudges didn't work. Spirit's using some stronger medicine, okay? But in the future position, you have the 6 of Pentacles. We will harmonize with this. We will find that the new configuration of our life is so much better than it was before. This is a renewal. This is a success. This is a win. Right? This is an alignment. And I feel like, you know, the tower moments happen and then we gain clarity. We look at it as a revelation and we build our lives up even better than it was before. We're not going back to the past. We're learning the message. We're hearing it. And this is like the clarity. This is like, I hear you loud and clear, Spirit. And this is how I'm going to rebuild the life. Okay? It may be something in terms of your living situation or your work situation. Okay. Path of the Serpent. Some more of these details, right? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. You got the 2 of Pentacles, change. Trying to put ourselves in harmony with change. That's the goal, harmony, right? Beauty. Total harmony with changes. And everything now is stabilized and settled and it's successful again. To get there, we need to obviously be willing to make changes, right? Spirit has given us that big, huge, really like, you know, hefty nudge back to our true north, and we've got to make the appropriate changes to deal with that. This is that card of harmonious change. Things are changing for the better. It's not always easy to see that, especially when it's a tower moment. Usually, it doesn't seem like it's in our best interest, but it usually really is, okay? And we have to just do the work. We've got to be proactive. We've got to take the right steps. We may not want to. We may be pissed off, but we have to take the necessary steps to bring ourselves into alignment with the new current. Okay, and you know, really that's what we see. We don't see any kind of agitated cards. I don't see a 5 of Wands for you. I see a 6. I don't see a 3 or a 5, 7, 9, or 10 of Swords. I see the 2 of Swords, right? And we see some we see like this is something that, you know, I think now you're coming to realize that, okay, this happened for a reason. So you're seeing, you have the clarity in you now, where you can see that this was a message from the divine and this was a big nudge back to your true north. And you're saying, okay, I hear you, Spirit, and I'm going to do what it takes to get, you know, to get things back on track. Yeah. Now the 6 of Wands in the environment is the victory. Kind of like, in a way saying like you're surviving the tower. You're getting a t-shirt that says, I survived a tower event, you know? And I think that this is, this is maybe a little bit too playful given the severity of this energy, but I feel like this is you with the confidence to pull through. This is you connecting with other people, finding your team, okay? And maybe that's what part of this is. Maybe this is something is kind of taking us away from our familiar surroundings. This is you making connections with your new surroundings, okay? Finding that there is a symbiotic relationship between you and the environment that you're in, okay? So let's say you get transferred to a new department at work, and we can go into that department and just be like, this sucks, I hate it, I'm not supposed to be here. Or we can say, hey, let's connect, let's make it work, let's form a relationship that's going to support all of us. You know what I mean? Like you can either go into it and you can adapt and grow and forge those connections and make those links and form those neural pathways or whatever, interpersonal pathways, or we can be too fixed in what we believed and what we felt from before, and then we're not going to make any new connections. I refuse any interpersonal connections. And then we're the one that is kind of, outcast from the group, right? I feel like this is you understanding the need and the benefit to making those interpersonal connections, forging those interpersonal pathways, okay? As part of our will to manifest our destiny, right? Fire to earth, fire to earth. Yeah. So once we accept and we make the necessary changes and we start doing our magic, we're doing our work in peace. The Two of Swords. The difficulty is the peace of mind. The difficulty is that calm, zen, I'm sleeping well at night. I'm sleeping like a baby at night. It's a tower event. No one's going to sleep. You're sleeping well at night because you've accepted the situation. You're doing everything you need to do to adjust and adapt to it. You're forging the right interpersonal connection pathways, and you're doing the work. Now, on this new trajectory of yours, you're doing your work in peace, and it's going to succeed. All right? It's going to be successful here. And this is a very harmonious connection, fire to earth. Fire to earth connection, right? So the Two of Swords is, we're sort of choosing to not fight against this. We're choosing to not be in this kind of, weeping and wailing despair. We're choosing to say, okay, I got to take it in stride. This is something from Spirit, and this is how I'm going to handle it, right? And we're going to do the work. We're going to put in the necessary effort to adapt and to harmonize ourselves with whatever change this was. Okay, you're on this new timeline now. Things have changed for you. Your confidence in yourself is allowing you to peacefully do the necessary work. Okay? Change, victory, peace, and work. And given what we have here, this is Tower event, clarity, and harmony, success. Right? Tower event, clarity, success. Change, victory, peace, and work. Let's look at the mystery card. What do we think? Maybe the Hermit? Yeah, maybe the Hermit. That'll be your superpower card, right? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Page of Cups. Being very attentive to the images from Spirit. I don't want another Tower event. I'm going to pay attention to the signs, symbols, and synchronicities around me. I'm going to be very sensitive to the messages coming in from Spirit, right? You got the fish in the percolator. Don't ignore it. Don't just toss it out and make a new pot of coffee or tea. Say, okay, fish in the percolator. What does it mean? What is its purpose here? What am I supposed to think or feel or do with that? What is this message from my spirit guides? If we ignore the fish in the percolator, the spirit guides are going to have to scream at us. And big nudges, big, huge nudges, rather than just a little elbow. Say, hey, you might want to turn back to north here. You're getting a little off course. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guardian angel. So I feel like this is us really paying attention to those signs, symbols, and synchronicities, and being kind of back in alignment with that energy again, you know, and kind of not intentionally maintaining that connection with spirit, with our intuition, with the synchronicities, with the serendipity of life, right? So that we can be open to all the mystery and all the magic of life, and that'll help us stay on course. We can avoid another tower moment. Yeah. I like this as a confirmation card. Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards too. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Virgo Tuesdays and Saturdays. If you want to watch all these readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.